Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to team meeting number 74. Today we'll have some questions from the faculty. We'll talk about our medium publication. We'll talk about some faculty outreach. And we'll also discuss why I wasn't here last week and why we had all these technical problems. Just my fault. I didn't turn up. I was busy. Sorry. So over to you, Rob. Do we have any questions from the faculty this week?
Well, let's I updated the I also updated the agenda. We're also going to talk a little bit about the woodblock overview and show some of the new material that we're throwing up there every week, and also talk a little bit about Twitter feeds and what we need from faculty. So in terms of questions from the faculty, I've got one which is about let me just pull it up here for a second. Okay, which is about student acquisition. How are you going to help us acquire more students for our courses? That's a great question. The student acquisition piece is something we're working on, and we're doing it in two ways, or two or three ways. One is institutional affiliations. So as you know, who've been going to team meeting, we are reaching out to institutions to provide them with content in terms of the classes, and also a faculty member. And the costs of that generally are between $500 and $750 for a seat for a student. As you know, many institutions, both in the US and globally, are struggling to provide more content and high quality content to their students. And one of the biggest producers of content is a company called Pearson's, based out of the US. They basically are providing a really sophisticated textbook for roughly $500 per seat for a student. What they don't, though, provide is the faculty member to teach it. So what we're doing is we're contacting institutions and saying, hey, would you like to take a look at the courses that are available and sort of private label them to institutions where one of our faculty members is teaching that class, or potentially that faculty member license that material to that institution so they can use it for their course content. And that's a way to acquire students in business for our faculty members. The other piece is that we're working on raising the profile of Oplerno amongst students through the use of Twitter, social media, et cetera, that we've been doing for the past year or so. And those two forms of acquisition are really, really important to us. And that's what we're using to try to get traction. As you guys know, we did sign an agreement with Burlington College, and there are a few more Burlington College to provide them with content and courseware and work with them on developing classes. And we're also talking with a few more institutions. I know that we've talked about that the last several weeks, but and things are proceeding along well, but it goes slowly in terms of that type of work. But you know, when we are able to publicly announce more alliances, we'll let you know.
A question, Rob. What could our faculty do to help us get connected to institutions?
So one of the really great things that faculty can do is, if you're teaching at a college and you see, and there are subjects that the college needs coursework development done for, contact me at skiff@oplerno.com, and you and I can talk, the faculty member can talk to me about that institution, and I'll approach the dean or the provost or the department about that. That probably is, that probably is going to be the easiest way to acquire students in business for our faculty, is by going through institutional affiliations for right now. So yeah, give me a referral, shoot me an email, drop me a line, and we will, and I'll follow up with it. I'm having a lot of fun talking with different academics and faculty members, and yeah, I like that. It's good stuff. So yeah, give me the referral. I want to talk a little bit about Twitter feeds for right now. It would be great if faculty members could if we don't already have them, if you could send me your Twitter handles so that we can include those in the Twitter feeds that we have for several different accounts on the net. This will help get word out about your classes and act as a little bit of free advertising for us. Daniel has created a really interesting couple of spreadsheets and programs that we're expanding and creating to to make sure that your classes are front and center on the Twitterverse. And yeah, it's good stuff. Daniel, do you want to talk a little bit about that, or have I done a good job of explaining it?
No, you've done an excellent job of explaining. I think that it very much feeds into and one of the other things that we're working on is our Medium platform, on Medium publication, because Medium is very much goes hand in hand with our which it will say with our outreach on Twitter and on social media. In that we've created a publication for which anybody who has a Twitter handle basically can write posts, and then we review them, or we ask them in. So if you have a Twitter handle, send it to us, and then we can also add you as a writer to our publication. So if you have anything that that you need to want to talk about your course, or about the coursework, or about anything anything that's really going on that you see in education, we have quite a broad publication at the moment. We want to we're very much focused on. We like to focus on distance learning and online learning and online education. But then we have lots of different subjects coming past, including people who radically want to change their education system, somewhat the way we want to do it, and some people who have an even more radical approach, which is very fun. So we've called it the higher education revolution. So basically, all your revolutionary ideas are welcome there, but also your commonplace ideas of very much simply making it easier to teach people online, or whether it's in the classroom, because of course we're not limited to a virtual location. We also accept information on physical locations. I know that you also teach in institutions as well. So it's very we can gain a lot of information and share a lot of information there as well.
Yeah, and one of the things that everybody should also check out is oplerno.com/blog to go to Woodblock. As you know, Woodblock is going now all year round with different interviews and articles that people are writing, I'm writing. And last week we just posted an interview with Professor Sebastian Valenzuela of the University Católica in Chile. And we talked a lot about social networking, about student movements, student protest movements in 2008, 2009, and about Latin America higher education. It's a really interesting interview. Check it out. Lots of times we tend to ignore, or we don't really spend a lot of time thinking about, if you're based in North America or Europe, about issues happening in higher ed in Latin America, Africa, or Asia. And it's really great that we're able to reach out and talk with people from Chile, Latin America, and soon a couple of people out in Asia, and get their perspective on this higher ed revolution that's happening through the use of information technology and also different cultural configurations that are happening to have people participate in learning organizations like Oplerno. So check out those interviews. I'm trying to get generally one done a week and post them. And of course, 2 weeks ago, we had an interview with a really interesting academic from Argentina. So we've been concentrating on Latin America. And of course, we'll move to other places later on. Mario Gorin was that professor, and check it out.
Oh, and of course, if you have any suggestions of people who you'd like to hear from, or you can give us any referrals to people that we should talk to, people who have interesting things to say, or if you have something interesting to say.
Yeah. Please check it. Please send me an email, and I'll put you on. Okay. What else do we have? Want to go over the courses that are opening? Sorry, the courses. Well, sorry. Back up. Anything more, Daniel, that you want to talk about? Maybe we can mention the courses that are coming up.
Yeah, well, I already
and
put...
then we'll go ahead.
Oh no, I'd already gotten the courses that were coming up ready that we could, so we could actually discuss them already. So we have. So unless you have anything else, I'll go straight into that.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so we have Principles of Geology, a course by Camilla Bright. Very interesting. Principles of Geology focuses on understanding the shape of the Earth, the materials that comprise the Earth, and how they affect our lives. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Everything, earthquakes. I mean, all the fantastic, really powerful things that the Earth can throw at you, and all the little subtle things that the Earth can that happen on the Earth, all discussed in this course, in this 12-week course. Absolutely brilliant, which is starts this week, and there are still spaces for you. We have Introduction to Online Learning for Students by Dr. Grover, which is going to be a pilot for her. For the first class, she has for the one-time only discounted price. So if you get in there, you should have a really, really interesting time and get full attention from Dr. Grover. We also have The Israeli-Palestinian Conflict by Christopher Ferrero, which is absolutely brilliant. I've heard a lot. Yeah, I've discussed it with Professor Ferrero. There's been a lot of discussion about this. He's also gotten a lot of pushback because, of course, this is a subject where everybody has an opinion. So a very, very interesting course, and personally, I would almost immediately take it if I had time to be able to do this. If I wasn't working so hard. We have Art History 2 by Professor Michael Breer, which basically discusses the history of art, of painting and sculpture and architecture from the early Renaissance till the present day. We have The Art of Philosophy by Professor John Bolton, sorry, which is basically discusses all kinds of very interesting concepts on philosophy, ancient, modern, postmodern philosophy, and all the influences that they've had on art and artworks. Very, very interesting. And also by John Bolton, we have A Beginner's Philosophy for anybody who needs an introduction to philosophy, who wants to become an armchair philosopher. It's certainly a great chance in there, which starts in 6 days, and also the arts history one starts in 6 days, and then lastly we have Philosophy of Love. Now we've had a number of people talk to us about the Philosophy of Love. Very interesting, based on the book. I'm not sure what the teaching, what the book is that it's based on. Excellent, from what I've heard, it's an excellent book. Or excellent subjects. It's not exactly my field, so I wouldn't be able to give you too many details about that. But absolutely, from what I understand, really, really interesting subjects as well.
John is definitely somebody to check out. If you go on to the enroll.oplerno.com, you can see the listings of all the classes that we have available, along with the ones that are starting. Please remember that you can apply if you take a course. We'd like you to sign up, and if you want to take that course for credit at another institution, when you sign up for a course at Oplerno as a student, it automatically registers with us. We get in contact with you to help you transfer your credits to another college or university. And so think about that in terms of Oplerno as a resource for you to lower your costs for your degree and get more specialized training. So I think that's pretty much it for today. We're going to try to keep the meetings a little bit shorter because one, it allows us to push it out to more people on the web, and so this meeting went for about 15 minutes, and we'll try to keep those kinds of updates roughly that length. So if you have any questions, please remember to email questions@oplerno.com, and also subscribe to our Twitter feed, which is @Oplerno. And also we're on Facebook, and shoot us an email if you have any questions. And thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you online.
See you online.